Welcome to Audiobook 365 Stories.
Once there was a king who loved hunting. One day, he chased a deer deep into a forest. He went on and on until he got lost. Night came, and luckily, he found a small clearing where a man who made charcoal had a small house. The king asked the charcoal burner to show him the way out and said he would pay him well. "I would love to help you," said the charcoal burner, "but my wife is about to have a baby. I cannot leave her. It is too late for you to go alone. Please stay here tonight. You can sleep on some hay in the attic. Tomorrow I will guide you." The king agreed. He climbed into the attic and lay down on the hay. Soon, a baby boy was born to the charcoal burner. At midnight, the king saw a strange light below. He looked through a crack in the floor. He saw the charcoal burner sleeping. His wife fainted, and 3 old women dressed in white standing by the baby. Each woman held a small burning candle. The first old woman said, "I give this boy a life full of great dangers." The second said, "I give him the gift to pass safely through all dangers and live a long life." The third said, "I give him the princess born tonight to the king sleeping upstairs." Then the 3 old women blew out their candles, and the room became dark. They were the fates. The king felt very worried. He stayed awake all night thinking about what to do. When morning came, the baby cried, and the charcoal burner woke up. Sadly, he saw his wife had died during the night. "Oh, my poor baby," he cried. "What will I do now?" "Give me the child," said the king. "I will care for him well. I will also give you enough money to live comfortably." The charcoal burner was happy and agreed. The king promised to send someone to get the baby. When the king returned to his palace, he heard the happy news. He now had a baby daughter, but he was not happy. He asked when she was born. It was the same night the fates visited. The king called a servant and said, "Go to the forest, find the baby, and on your way back, throw him into the river. If you don't do it, I will punish you." The servant found the baby, put him in a basket, and dropped it into a big river. "Goodbye, little son-in-law," said the king when he heard. But the baby did not drown. The basket floated down the river. A fisherman saw it, took his boat, and saved the baby. He brought the baby home to his wife and said, "Look, the river has given us a son." The fisherman's wife was very happy and raised the child like her own. They named him Plavachek, which means a little boy who floated on the water. The river kept flowing, and the days passed. Plavachek grew from a baby into a boy, and then into a handsome young man, the most handsome in the whole area. One day, the king was riding alone. It was a hot day, and he was very thirsty. He asked the fisherman for some fresh water. Plavachek brought him the water. The king was surprised when he saw how handsome the young man was. "You have a fine son," the king said. "He is our son, but not by birth," the fisherman said. 20 years ago, a baby floated down the river in a basket. We took him in and raised him." The king turned very pale. He knew at once that Plavachek was the child he had ordered to drown. Quickly the king said, "I need someone to take a message to my palace. Can this young man go for me?" "Of course," the fisherman said. "Plavachek will be happy to go." The king wrote a letter to the queen. It said, "Kill the young man who brings this letter. He is a danger to us. Do this before I return. This is my order." The king sealed the letter and gave it to Plavachek. Plavachek started at once. On the way, he entered a deep forest, lost a path, and did not know where to go. It got dark. Then he met an old woman. "Where are you going, Plavachek?" she asked. "I am taking this letter to the palace, but I am lost," he said. "You cannot go now. Stay with me tonight. I am your old godmother," she said. Plavachek agreed. Soon he saw a pretty little house appear. That night, while he slept, the old woman took the letter from his pocket and replaced it with a new one. The new letter said, "Have the young man marry our daughter at once. He is my chosen son-in-law. Do this before I return." The next day, Plavachek delivered the letter. The queen read it and ordered the wedding right away. She and her daughter liked Plavachek very much. Plavachek also loved the princess and was happy to marry her. When the king came back and heard what happened, he was very angry, but the queen showed him the letter with his seal. It was truly his. The king asked Plavachek about the journey. When Plavachek described the old woman, the king understood it was the same old woman from 20 years ago. The king thought and said, "What is done cannot be undone. But if you want to keep my daughter, you must bring me 3 golden hairs from Grandfather Knowitall." He thought this would be an impossible task to get rid of Plavachek. Plavachek said goodbye to his bride and started his journey. He didn't know which way to go. Everyone talked about old Grandfather Knowitall, but no one knew where he lived. However, Plavachek had a fate for a godmother, so he was sure he would find the right way. He traveled far, over hills, dry lands, and crossed big rivers. Finally, he reached the Black Sea. There he saw an old man with a boat. "God bless you, old ferryman." Plavachek said, "Thank you, young traveler. Where are you going?" the ferryman asked. "I'm going to Grandfather Knowitall to get 3 of his golden hairs," Plavachek said. "Good. I have been waiting for someone like you. I have been ferrying people across this sea for 20 years. No one has come to help me. If you promise to ask Grandfather Knowitall when my work will end, I will take you across," the ferryman said. Plavachek promised, and the old man took him across the sea. Plavachek walked on until he came to a big city that looked old and broken. Outside the city, he met an old man with a walking stick. "God bless you, grandfather." Plavachek said, "Thank you, handsome boy." "Where are you going?" asked the old man. "I'm going to Grandfather Knowitall for 3 golden hairs," said Plavachek. "Come with me," said the old man. "Our king will want to see you." He took Plavachek to the king. The king said, "We have a tree that once gave apples of youth. Whoever ate one became young again. But for 20 years it has given no fruit. If you promise to ask Grandfather Knowitall why, I will reward you well." Plavachek promised, and the king wished him good luck. Plavachek traveled on and came to another city, half broken down. There, he saw a man crying while burying his father. "God bless you, sad grave digger," said Plavachek. "Thank you, kind traveler. Where are you going?" "I'm going to Grandfather Knowitall," said Plavachek. The man took him to the king, who said, "We have a well with water of life. It could cure sickness and even bring back the dead, but it has been dry for 20 years. Please ask Grandfather Knowitall if there is help for us." Plavachek promised again and went on. He traveled deep into a black forest. In the middle, he found a big green meadow with beautiful flowers and a golden palace shining like fire. Inside, he saw an old woman spinning wool. She smiled and said, "Welcome, Plavachek. I'm happy to see you again." Plavachek saw it was his godmother. "Why have you come, Plavachek?" she asked. "The king says I must bring him 3 golden hairs from Grandfather Knowitall if I want to stay with his daughter," he said. The old woman smiled and said, "Do you know who Grandfather Knowitall is? He is the bright sun. He travels everywhere and sees everything. I am his mother. In the morning, he is a young boy, at noon a strong man, and in the evening an old grandfather. I will get you 3 golden hairs from his head because I am your godmother. But you must hide. My son is kind, but if he comes home hungry, he might want to roast you for dinner. Quickly, hide under this empty tub." Plavachek hid under the tub. He also asked his godmother to find out the answers to the 3 questions he promised to ask. "I will," said the old woman. "Listen carefully." Suddenly, a strong wind blew, and the son, now an old grandfather with golden hair, flew in through the window. He sniffed the air. "I smell human flesh," he cried. "Is someone here, mother?" "My dear boy," she said, "you have flown all day over the world. That smell is just stuck to your nose." The son said nothing and sat down to eat. After supper, he laid his head on his mother's lap and fell asleep. The old woman gently pulled out 1 golden hair. It fell on the floor with a twang like a violin string. "What is it, mother?" the son asked. "Nothing, my boy. I had a dream," she said. "What dream?" he asked. "I dreamed about a city with a well of living water, but the well has been dry for 20 years. Can it be fixed?" "Yes," said the son. "A frog is sitting on the spring. They must kill the frog and clean the well." The son fell asleep again. The old woman pulled out another golden hair. "What is it, mother?" "Another dream," she said. "A city had an apple tree that gave apples of youth, but it has not given fruit for 20 years. Can it be saved?" "Yes," said the son. "A snake is stealing its strength. They must kill the snake and move the tree. Then it will bear fruit again." The son slept again. The old woman pulled the 3rd golden hair. "Why won't you let me sleep?" the son complained. "Sorry, my boy," she said. "I had another dream. A boatman on the Black Sea has been ferrying people for 20 years. When will he be free?" "Ah, he is foolish," said the son. "He must give the oar to someone else and jump ashore. Then the other person must ferry the boat. Now let me rest," he said. "I must get up early to dry the tears of the king's daughter who cries for her husband, the charcoal burner's son." In the morning, the sun turned into a beautiful golden child and flew away. The old woman lifted the tub and gave Plavachek the 3 golden hairs and the answers. "Goodbye, Plavachek," she said. "You will not need me any more." Plavachek thanked her and left. At the first city, the king asked for news. "Good news," said Plavachek. "Kill the frog and clean the well." The king did so, and the water flowed again. He gave Plavachek 12 white horses carrying gold and silver. At the second city, Plavachek said, "Dig up the apple tree, kill the snake at the roots, and replant it." The king followed his advice. The tree bloomed and bore fruit overnight. He gave Plavachek 12 black horses filled with treasure. At the Black Sea, the ferryman asked for his answer. "I will tell you after you ferry me over," said Plavachek. The ferryman agreed. After crossing, Plavachek said, "Give your oar to the next person and jump ashore. Then he will be the new ferryman." Finally, Plavachek returned to the palace. The king was amazed at the golden hairs and the rich horses. "Where did you get all this?" he asked. "I earned them," said Plavachek. He told the king about the apples of youth and the water of life. The greedy king thought, "If I get the apples and the water, I will be young forever." He left to find them, and he never came back. It is said he is still ferrying the boat across the Black Sea. And so Plavachek, the charcoal burner's son, became the king's son-in-law, just as the old fate had said.